by Dr. Subhash Kapila Grave. Geopolitical consequences are likely to flow for global security and stability by the ongoing confrontation between United States and the West with Russia. Highlighted in my past SAAG papers was that the United States cannot afford two sets of Cold Wars with its global predominance under challenge. Singularly invisible in United States, China is the most potent threat to U.S. national security interests, intent on challenging United States global predominance and endangering the security of U.S. allies in the Indo Pacific and its strategic partners. The United States in 2018 must be ruing the day in 1972 when then U.S. President Nixon and his Sinophiles advisors like Henry Kissinger inflicted the Nixonian Moment on the United States. In the decades that followed, American strategic permissiveness has resulted in China emerging as United States' most potent adversary, a fact conceded by present U.S. President designating China as such. The United States is in the danger of repeating the Nixonian moment once again by pushing Russia into China's strategic embrace by renewing all over again another Cold War with Russia. China is a revisionist power with aspirations to attain strategic equivalence with the United States and hence the major source of military confrontations with the United States. The United States and China are destined for an inevitable military conflict in the coming decades. Comparatively, even a resurgent Russia has a historical record of management of the global system with the United States by limiting regional conflicts even at the height of the First Cold War spanning 45 years. Ingrained in this strategic pushover of Russia are two grave consequences for the United States. The first, that Russia would be pushed into a strategic embrace by China, much that Russia resents being viewed as a satellite of China. Secondly, what may have ended up as two sets of different Cold Wars embroiling the United States by its adversaries now has ingrained in it the possible fusion of the two Cold Wars with China and Russia into one larger global Cold War between United States. Two sets of geopolitical and strategic dangers hover on the horizon for the United States more pointedly. While Asian countries, because of their fears of a militarily threatening China, have recently pivoted towards the United States in the China-induced confrontations spanning the Indo Pacific, these very Asian nations would not line up with the United States. Simply, for no other reason, because Russia by itself does not figure in Asian threat perceptions. The other danger for the United States is that West European countries lining up with the United States and in sympathy with Britain may have in solidarity expelled Russian diplomats, but when it would amount to a blown Cold War confrontation with Russia, these very West European nations would chicken out from a confrontation with Russia prompted by economic reasons and their dependence on Russian gas supplies. With a Cold War against the United States generated by China since 2001, to which the United States was dismissive for most part of the decade and now shaken out of its reveries by China's attaining spectrum dominance of the global commons in the South China Sea, the year 2018 was an inopportune time for the United States to get embroiled in yet another different set of Cold War with Russia. The United States. U.S. President Trump in his first year made wise moves to reset U.S. relations with Russia, but was ambushed by the Cold War gladiators on Capitol Hill who have not yet got over their earlier post-World War II Cold War animosities with Russia. In this ongoing Cold War confrontation between United States, easy conclusions, keeping in mind that Russia in a resurgent mode is intent on carving its own spheres of influence in the United States. Overall, China is the biggest gainer and must be smiling all the way from Beijing to the Great Wall of China. At no geopolitical or strategic costs to China itself, China has gained on two counts. China gains an existential strategic weight of Russia on its side, and which has the potential of the China-Russia quasi-strategic nexus turning into a fledged China-Russia axis. More importantly, China will be strategically confident as the ongoing United States. In conclusion, one would advise caution for the United States. Strategic prudence would dictate to the United States to stop the ongoing escalation with Russia.